Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I've been starting to think that the decisions made by the elected and bureaucrats in the Western countries are not just, just happening, just a coincidence. I don't want to claim yet that I understand the big picture of the whole thing, but little by little they let us know that they do not work for us. And I think that's good enough for the first step, to understand that these guys are not working in our interest. Now the second step would find out exactly who they work for, because the decisions they make in our names and our countries are not beneficial to the country overall. It seems like they hurt us for some reasons that they expected to just accept, and we don't accept them. Let me show you what's going on in Germany, which the property taxes and the home values dropped. The house bubble burst, like in the United States of America 2008. Remember? I do remember. So let me show you here two articles, and coming from Western media, telling us how the Germans, their leaders, shoot the whole economy, their economy and industry. In this case, we're talking about the housing market, cause it to collapse. Now, that's not because Russia and Ukraine, they could have fought how much they wanted. You got involved in that with your sanctions, self-sanctions, and so on. So let's read these two articles. The first one I will use comes from Reuters, and it is from December 22nd, 2023. So that's from Friday. German home prices tumble amid property rout. Why is that? Residential property prices in Germany continued to fall, dropping 10.2% in the third quarter from a year earlier. So in 1 year, they fell 10%. So your house was, let's say, 1,000 euros. Now it's worth 90,000 euros. That's great, isn't it? We are told that the best investment is in properties. And houses, apartment buildings, rent them, land. This is the best investment. And it's gold. These are certain investments that with time they keep their value, or maybe they appreciate even more. Like this, I remember in 2008, your house valued this, then immediately dropped almost half. And then to go back there, it took at least 10 years. Now 10 years you got back. Remember, those 10 years, if you would brought it where you left, would have been almost double. But it didn't. So now you're back a little bit higher than you were due to Donald Trump. No? No. Okay, my bad. So let's see what is going on here. It says, in a further grim sign from the real estate sector in Europe's largest economy, data on Friday showed. It was the fourth consecutive quarter of declines and the biggest since Germany's Statistics Office began keeping records in the year 2000, underscoring the nation's biggest property crisis in decades. Now, why is it so? Prices have fallen ever since the bubble has burst. Right there, my friends. For years, the property sector in Germany and elsewhere in Europe boomed as interest rates were low and demand strong. Well, I don't take only that one. It says the decline for single and two-family homes in major German cities was especially pronounced in the third quarter, negative 12.7%, while apartment prices fell 9.1%. So this is the first article. I have another one that I will show you. And if you try to point this on the COVID, or you want to point it on the Russians, they try to fool you. They try to fool you. It's more than that. I think, first, the COVID again. All right, COVID is gone. What's going on here? The disruption, please. Russians, they could have fought over there how much they wanted. If you didn't move one finger towards sanctions, sending weapons, doing aid and all the aids and all that, nothing, your economy would have been fantastic. Get oil, get gas cheap, your industry will be strongest in Europe as it was for the past I don't know how many decades, and United States had to compete. But like this, they just took over. Let's move to the second article. It comes from the Telegraph, who I guess the Brits are very happy about it. Why shouldn't they? As Germany and France, they don't care about anybody else. Germany, the main one, and France, they don't really care about the French, but the Germans nowadays. Why? After the Second World War, they knew who's got the biceps in Europe. German property prices plummet as housing bubble burst, including the fact that Germany unified itself in late 19th century. You got the Iron, what's his name, Chancellor. Okay, you got that guy and that's it. And then you got First World War, they destroyed it. Second World War, destroyed it, and then they grabbed Germany by the balls, pulled them down, snipped them, and since then Germany's talking like this to us. Wie geht's, mein Freund? All right, let's go to this article here. The Telegraph. German property prices plummet as housing bubble burst. Enough said, clear. Don't have to go around and, pretend. This is from 1 day ago, which is the 22nd of December 2023. Don't pretend. Don't even pretend you heard. You know all this, and and you're part of it, Scholz. You're part of it. But you're below 86 IQ. I can tell by the shape of your head. Okay. House prices in Germany dropped by a record 10.6 points, presenting whatever in the third quarter. In further sign of the struggles faced by Europe's largest economy since pandemic. It was the fourth consecutive quarter of declines compared to the same time a year earlier, and the biggest since Germany's statistics office, the same thing as the other one. Prices have fallen since it's the same article. My friends, so what do you think? Britain slipped back behind France to be the next worst performer after downward revisions to growth left the UK on the brink of recession. I have an article that I looked over maybe an hour ago, and it claimed that United Kingdom is technically in a recession, but they're not going to tell you yet. If you want to live in denial, that's your choice. Now, what can Germany do? What I would do, I would stop all this garbage with the sanctions. I will get the cheap gas from the Russians. That's for sure. I will not send anything to Ukraine, and I will try to get the American troops out of my territory. That's what I would do. Make sure that whoever tries to put other interests above the German interest, and not this kind of interest like, if you don't give to Ukraine support, the Russians will conquer us. No, you're a traitor, out. That's what I would do. Don't talk about that. There's no clear danger, immediate, and evidence. You just make things in such a way that you scare the population so they don't go and riot and conduct a revolution on you. That's what you do. And the mass media is complicit because they own it. The same guys who own the politicians own the mass media as well. So what do you want? So my friends, this is what I would do. And I would just focus on Germany, not on France, Israel, or Ukraine and Zelensky Stein and whomever. Fuck you. That's your destiny. This is my destiny. Somehow we have to be linked. But since Germany has been under US occupation since May 1945, what do you expect? You got the alternative for Deutschland, which is going to be banned. It's going to make made illegal as a extremist party, which was already designated in some of their little land and over there. That means their security, the police can listen and infiltrate the party legally. Got that? That means direct spying. And they say about, the opposition leader in Russia, now a new woman over there who has connections with other people. I will make a video on that one. she is a former journalist and she was barred from challenging Putin. And we talk about that like, oh my God, oy vey, see? And these guys that want to take care of Trump here. Can you believe this? It's hypocrisy. But we point the fingers to Russia. Well, Russia is garbage, as you say. What about you? Now, if Russia is garbage because they ban the opposition leader to compete against our boy, then what does that tell you about you if you do the same thing? That means you're garbage too. Why not? Because it has an American or a German flavor? Apparently. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.